Hello everyone, this is Soviet Russian Bear, and today I have a returning guest, Vladimir Larin, also known as Volodya of Kiev and the Stoned Kievan. So yeah, Vladimir, the
Cool.
yeah. So Vladimir, I just want to talk about you about the 2016. This was, a tough year for Russia, for Ukraine, and for people who support Russia, and a lot of tragic events occurred, and there also were some victories, such as in Aleppo and Brexit and Trump and Donald Trump's victory, despite all of the American, mainstream media and American, establishment politicians and establishment, should I say, or establishment oligarchs were against him. So, what can you say about this? What this was the year? What this year was like for you?
For me, that was the year of treatment. Yes. I had problems with my legs. I had few of medical operations. So for me, it's just a kind of medical year. But if to speak globally, I think that was the end of one stage. Like in big political games, it was. The end of the stage, and the next stage that will be in upcoming 2017 will be really interesting. I think that this year, as for me, I find it more sad, because there were really many deaths in this year, many deaths of people. I mean, the terroristical acts that were in Europe, so I think that we should make a next step in the next year, like the anti-terroristical year, because I think that there were too many terroristical acts this year. So I think that this year was really hard, and there were really many sad moments actually.
Yes, and it's hard to disagree with you, such as the truck attack in Berlin and in Paris and many other
Nice,
in Nice,
nice, yeah,
Nice, uh,
nice.
and it's just and it's just hard to. And of course, the attack on the Russian ambassador in Ankara, and people in Turkey were pissed off about this, and certainly, and the relations between Russia and Turkey, it have been so tense. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, just look, the provocation, the puppeteers, the puppet masters behind the terrorists and behind those who have attacked. They want to see Russia, Turkey colliding with each other. They need to provoke war. But thank God that both Putin and Erdogan are smart people, actually. And I think Erdogan right now and the Turkish government are right now in very difficult situation.
That's like that USA government made it with Ukraine and Russia in 2014. Yeah, the same situation as they wanted again to provoke that to the war, but Putin was clever enough not to go on that provocation. And what is maybe the best thing for me this year was just what this yesterday or 2 days ago. That depends on the day when this video will be uploaded. I mean that that in Russian Supreme Court that was said that the Ukraine there was no revolution. That this government was illegal, and that just was a color revolution made by the foreign countries. And as for me, that's this. For me, it's even I'm more happy than with the win of Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm glad that the citizen of America will have a good president, but I'm much more happy that that situation, what was with Ukraine, is finally named with the right words.
Yeah, it's finally get called by its real name. And what do you think about Donald Trump? Because as I read the forums, and people are very divided about him. Some people say that yeah, he's gonna fix all the, he's gonna ease the tensions, and maybe even USA and Russia will become, true partners and to get along. Others say that nothing is going to change, and he's just another, they say, remember, like Obama 8 years ago also said that yeah, I want a friendship with Russia, yeah, and reload, reboot of relationship with Russia, but we all know how that ended up. So people are very divided about Trump, and yeah, some people are very skeptical, some people are very optimistic. So what can you say?
I think that there will be good relationships between Russia and between the USA. I even think that there will be good relationship between the triangle of three big whales. I mean, between Russia, between USA, and between China. I think that Donald Trump will even find how to talk to China. As you know, that now the Chinese government is not really lucky that Trump won. But I think that the understanding between these three countries will be found, and of course everything will get better because for the last even for example, years, the situations in the world globally is really difficult. So there are too many wars that were started by the previous USA governments, by George Bush or by Barack Obama. So I think that now it's time to stop because, and you know that just USA cannot do that, cannot cope with that problems, and they can cope with it only with Russia, together with Russia. And for example, if we just can imagine, yeah, for example, if in conflict of Syria, both USA and Russia were on one side, and if we put also, for example, China on the same side. So I think that the problem with terrorism could be solved even within a few days. When such powerful countries will cooperate. And I think that really the key to success in the modern world is if those three countries find the understanding with each other.
Yes, and I absolutely agree. It's really hard to disagree with you, what you say. And you mentioned USA, Russia, and China. So what about Europe? What do you think will happen in the European Union? Because as I can see, their policies are, failing, and Europe is basically, Merkel's, fucked up policies, and not just migration policies, but also economic policies and other. It's pretty, fucked up. Excuse me, my French. And so, and after Brexit happened, I'm not actually surprised. It's not nothing. I think nothing is going to surprise me actually, because if Brexit won, so I actually will not be surprised in if Marine Le Pen's Front National wins in France, or Alternative for Germany wins in Germany, or other right wing conservative parties are going to win. And Hillary Clinton, she didn't call Putin the godfather of Western conservatism for nothing. Because if you are, because in Europe they say, the establishments, the mainstream media say that if you are if you stand up for your country's own national interests, and not for the interests of international oligarchy, you are you are agent of the Kremlin, you are Putin's agent, and it's pretty much like Ukraine. If you disagree with the junta, with the Kiev government policy, you are agent of the Kremlin. It's pretty similar in Europe, as I can hear. So, what can you say about the European Union?
As we know that the most powerful state nowadays in the European Union is, of course, Germany,
Yes.
and everything depends on Germany. And I have even one prediction. I wish that didn't happen, of course, but I think that Germany will be the last country where there can be another kind of color revolution. We understand, yeah, that fucking whore, Frau Merkel, is really just is just a person of the former United States government. I say former about Obama. Is actually he's coming to his end, and I think that they can even try to do something there like another color revolution, because many of Germans, of course, are not satisfied with the situation that is happening now. But you know that. I think that there can be some, for example, protests. Yeah, but of course people will go against Merkel. But everything can happen like in Ukraine. They will go against Merkel, but there they will find out some person that nobody actually wants, like that was with those three leaders of Maidan in Ukraine, and that guy or woman, I don't know who it will be, or even a team, a political team, they will be put instead of Merkel, but it will be much worse. So I think that even this can happen. Now everything really depends on the German citizen. If I think that they they understand that actually Merkel broke Germany absolutely. Yeah, it's not Germany anymore. Really poor Germans, you know. We fight with them, more than 70 how much, 60 years, 70 years ago, we had war.
75. Yes.
70, even more than 170 years, we had the war. We had more than 100 years war with them. But now they are so really miserable, with all those migrants, that I don't like the Germany how it looks like to the poor people, really poor Germans. They should try to solve everything. They should get rid of Merkel, because
Yes.
if they get rid of Merkel, I think there could be another chance for European Union if they will change their migration policy. If they try to get rid of, I don't know how, of course. I think maybe this is possible, but even if they change the law, if they restrict the rights, I think that could make anything better, and maybe then we can find a kind of reunion. As I think that really now European Union is coming to its logical end. Maybe we'll see another kind of that union. I don't know in what kind of union. Of course, euro will stay like money, because there is no more alternative nowadays. Of course, they want. I don't know what will be about visas. Maybe they will also restrict this, but of course that will look like this old European Union. But I think that will be a little bit the same. But now everything depends on USA, how it will go there. If it go there okay, maybe that will go okay also in Germany. So everyone in the world is now waiting for inauguration of Trump for the end of January.
Yeah, and you spoke about visas, and we talk about Ukraine a lot, and when they heard about the possible cancellation of the visa regime and lifting up the visas, they perceived it as their перемога, victory, and then they heard that the visas will be, lifted up only for, 4 months or something like
Mhm.
that, and only if only for tourists, not for people who are going to work
Of
there.
course.
Yeah, not for work, not labor visas.
Actually, that's not a problem for Ukrainians.
Yeah,
You just have just one time to get that free visa. No, the country will be absolutely empty, and the visa-free regime for Ukraine will be by the time when the European Union will consist only from Georgia and from Ukraine. Maybe that will be the time of visa-free regime for Ukraine.
yeah, and that's definitely a, treason, zrada, treason. Yeah, defeat, zrada.
Yeah.
And what? So about Ukraine. So what is your prognosis, your prediction for Ukraine next year? Will
Mm.
USA, actually lose control of Ukraine or loosen its grip on Ukraine with Trump's election?
No, you know that I can say that even now USA doesn't want to control Ukraine anymore. They don't want to control it even for more than 1 year. They lost what they wanted. They lost Crimea. They lost the ability to put their bases on Donbass. So they do not need it at all. Yeah, and of course I think that Trump also wants to get rid of it. My prognosis about Ukraine, I think that Yulia should be the next president because talking about the Ukrainian logic, there is no more another candidate. Yeah, as new people cannot come into Ukrainian politics at all. That's impossible in Ukrainian political life. They can't. So only Yulia Tymoshenko maybe. Of course, there won't be another kind of another Maidan, another revolution. But I think that really Yulia Tymoshenko is the best candidate for Ukraine because she can talk with USA and she is also known by Putin and his team, and so maybe of course that won't be the best. Of course, Ukraine will have many problems, but maybe that will bring kind of stability maybe for this country.
Yeah, and the situation in Donbass, I think only peaceful solution is the only way,
No,
because
what to say about speaking about Donbass? Donbass will never be Russian. That is understandable. And even now in the Russian media, they start really again to say that what's actually Donbass, and there are also many reasons why to say that it will never be Russian. I can say that yeah, that will get a special status like the former, like for example, Crimea was in Ukraine. Yeah, that should be kind of autonomic or republic, yeah, of Donetsk or Lugansk Republic. But of course, it won't be the part of Russia because even Russia doesn't need it at all. It will just give many problems to Russia. We need peace on those buses. We need peace anywhere else in the world. But I think that, of course, Ukraine today there is no such even country like Ukraine. Everything should be discussed by United States and Russia. If Putin agrees to pay money instead of USA who are paying now, as we understand that even the European Union and they send just the money of the USA. And if to be honest, USA have no money at all because really dollar is just a piece of paper that is not proved with anything. And actually, those money are in China's gold. And as China is a big friend of Russia, so everything depends on Putin.
yeah, yeah, that's right. And the recent incident in Peru, there is this driver, a truck driver. He lives in the U.S. He's a Ukrainian descent, and he drives his rig around the United States and sings Russophobic songs. He
Ah, I
just,
know that guy.
yeah. So this guy was on vacation in Peru, Machu Picchu and Peru,
Mm.
Latin America. So, and he was stopped by a Russian guy who was who this guy was tougher than this Vadim Dubovsky, And the Vadim Dubovsky, that guy, the Russophobe, he was wearing a T-shirt which says Putin huilo, Putin is a dickhead, translated.
Mhm.
And the Russian guy, he tore his T-shirt. It's insulting Putin, and the Russian tourist did awesome job.
But he didn't beat those guys, yeah? Or did they fight with each other?
I don't know. There is no video footage of that.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. If he's wearing, a T-shirt which says Putin huilo, and he should expect some backlash from Russian tourists. Oh my God! I remember the whole of Ukraine was singing this song. La la la.
Yeah, but the time changed. People start to understand. This is it's not the best way to sing that kind of song. But of course, many of them just continue thinking though Putin is guilty in everything. But the life day by day is what there are.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse, and people, the prices. I mean, the prices for food, for utilities, for everything, for gasoline, the prices just skyrocketing.
So I think that we should wait for the next year, for upcoming 2017. I think that would really solve many of problems because the last 3 years were really difficult for many of countries, both for Russia, for Ukraine, for European Union, for USA. That
Yes, yes, and
too
for
many problems.
Syria, and many people, before the Russian operation, before the Russian Air Force operation, I mean Aerospace Force operation, many people, including from Ukraine, say that Russia should stay away from Syria. And now when Aleppo is liberated, many of them are just shutting up because it's obvious that the USA has lost Syria. They have failed to overthrow, Assad. They have failed to they have failed to turn Syria into second Libya, because what's going on in Libya right now, things are very fucked up there, and the country is divided. The country is technically non-existent, and there is a lot of terrorists in Libya. It has become a breeding ground for terrorism, and Syria is not like that. All thanks to Russia. I think the US has. I'm not saying the war is over and it will be over soon. Maybe it will take another year, maybe 2 years, I don't know, before the ISIS is completely defeated. Plus the Kurds are a pain in the ass. But I think Syria is won by Russia. What can you say?
What will be with future? What will be the kind of future of Syria? Or of course, yes, Russia won the game in Syria. What will be in future? I don't know if really Russia needs Syria like the country. Of course, Russia will help a lot. Of course, they are interested in improving the life of it, as Russia actually pays really also a lot of money for paying to other countries to improve the level of the life. I mean,
Yeah,
to the third world. Yeah, of course. Russia has done many good things to Syria. We just need that every other countries in the world understand that. As now that many of them think that Russia is still the aggressor, and that was not the best way to do that with Aleppo. So, and we now live in the world of media when everything depends on what's said on TV, what's written on the internet. So we need to change those public opinion
Yeah,
about.
because now it's all about make believe. So most Syrians I have online, and there is this YouTuber, female YouTuber, is her name is Syrian Girl Partisan. She was she was covering this Syrian conflict for the last 4 years, and she is also very thankful to Russia. Yeah, so I think Syria is saved, and I think Russian companies, Russia will participate in its rebuilding. So yeah, I think we should stop right there. Maybe you have something else to say.
I can only wish everyone everything good next year.
Yeah, and happy upcoming new year to everyone. Yeah,
Yeah, with it, there of course there were no wars in any country. There were no more death. There were no more terroristical acts. There were no more color revolutions, and everything's better. I just want to wish everyone the understanding with each other, with its neighbors, with its family, with other races, with other nations. That could bring peace. I also maybe want to wish people wisdom because nowadays there are too much information everywhere. People just forget to analyze and to think themselves. And most of them even don't have their personal opinion. They just opinion of the state propaganda, if we can say so. I wish everyone wisdom, maybe, and love. That
yeah,
are the most important
yeah.
things.
And and speaking of propaganda, I was accused, and I'm still getting accused of being, Putin's paid Kremlin troll. Some Russophobic people ask me how much Putin pay you, and why you don't make video criticizing Putin because he is going to send me to Gulag, to Siberia.
I make videos criticizing Putin. I make videos criticizing everyone.
Yeah, but and and I'm not offended when people call me such names. They call me, Kremlin agent, I'm fatnik, and all that stuff, Colorado, the Rushist. I'm not offended. I consider this flattering. This does not insult me in any way. You see what I mean? You understand, I know, but it's just, ridiculous. Because people who disagree with the Western mainstream propaganda are all agents of the Kremlin, in their opinion.
Yeah, maybe this kinds of problem in which even in the end, I will instead of you criticize Putin, that everyone can say that you are not the agent of Kremlin, as on your channel other guys are criticizing Putin. I want to criticize that there are many problems really in international politics. I mean, in the work of not propaganda in media work, because not many attention even paid to the internet. Not many attention is paid to the alternative medias. Not many attention is paid to some international youth programs. I mean that Russia, as Russia won Syria, Russia lost Ukraine. And Russia lost Ukraine in the way that there were no international youth programs in order that young Ukrainians should learn Russia. And still there are too many difficulties in the image, in the positive image of Russia on the international area. And now we live in the time of the YouTube bloggers and alternative media. And still Russia government with Putin do not pay much attention to it. I'm criticizing Putin, yeah, in this, really criticizing it, and I wish him to improve it in this country.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely agree. I know there is a lot of stuff that it has already been doing, like RT outlets and Sputnik, and of course, Russophobic people just call them the outlets of Kremlin propaganda, blah 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 blah. But there are also other outlets like crowd-funded outlets like the South Front, RussiaInsider.com. These are crowd-funded outlets. These are not paid by the Kremlin, and I think the international image of Russia is, steadfastly improving. So yeah, so I'm just gonna wish people to think with your own mind. Use your brains. Keep using your brains. Keep doubting. Keep on debating. Never take information, especially negative information about Russia, and at face value. Always think. Always doubt. Always criticize, and always use your own brain. Don't take any opinion at face value. That's what I'm going to wish. So, yeah, happy upcoming New Year, everyone. So I think we should wrap this up right now. It has been a great pleasure to have you again on my channel. So yeah,
Yeah, thank you too.
yeah, bye. I will see you.
Yeah, bye. Happy
Yes,
New Year.
Happy New Year, happy upcoming New Year. So I will see you. I'm sure. I hope to see you around next year on my channel. Yeah, bye.